looks like SK Gaming were caught somewhat off guard. The one thing I want to highlight, SK as a team ban out champions that we do not come to expect. They've banned out Karthus, they've banned out Orianna, they've just banned Fizz. These are things that we don't see against their opponents in most times. What it makes me think is SK's out-of-game preparation is very good because they ban champions that they believe could or might be a threat to either their team comps or something their opponents have been playing recently.
Morgana was the first pick here as well then for SK Gaming. Definitely an interesting first choice that will now leave the Copenhagen Wolves with a little bit of a pick of the litter here. And that may have even thrown their plan off somewhat. First pick Morgana and then saying, okay, we have a lot open to us here. Where do they go?
They could go Lee Sin and Twitch. It's what they did against Alliance. You could go Braum and Lee Sin. You could go Twitch and Braum. Like, those are some of the priority picks. Alternatively, they could lock in Jax. You know, Youngbuck had a very good game on Jax. When Youngbuck is playing a champion he's comfortable on, go back to London, go back to his Irelia, those are definite options for them.
Well, looks like it could be a Lulu pickup for the Copenhagen Wolves. I'm expecting that one will go into the mid lane for Coutard. We have seen Youngbuck play top lane Lulu.
Yes.
We weren't impressed with it, however.
No, we really weren't. But Youngbuck had a very good game earlier, and the versatility of that Lulu means you can't discount it. If at any point SK Gaming pulls something out that surprises the Wolves, they can simply respond by throwing that Lulu to one of those other lanes. And it's one of the things that makes her as a champion so much more versatile and so much more viable. Does Youngbuck want to do battle with the Renekton in that lane with Lulu, or does he want to go something like a Jax who we can feel he can outscale in the later stages of the game?
Also, Twisted Fate being picked up for SK Gaming and Jesus. And this is a champion where you have to have an impact, where those destinies have to really be on point. See if he can make that all work for him. So for the Copenhagen Wolves then, we're thinking mid laner, possibly top laner for Youngbuck with Lulu. Also the jungler already picked up. And is Woolite going to pick out a different AD carry this time? Currently hovering on Tristana.
So the Twitch is more risky against the Twisted Fate. The Destiny is obviously going to be very good at countering that invisible and that roaming style of play. But the one thing that we need to see Jesus do is impact those side lanes. When you've got a Renekton that is potentially going up against a Jax, you can punish that Jax very early on with those opening few Destinies. But Jesus cannot afford to go late on his Twisted Fate. If you think of, say, Selfie, who played TF and takes a very long time to scale up, and you contrast his style of play to Froggen or Peke, who are a lot more impactful a lot earlier in the game, we need to see where Jesus slots in as a TF player.
Well, we'll find out. The two choices for the Copenhagen Wolves here, they took Jax. So that tells us that Lulu will be going to Coutard in the mid lane and also picking up Braum, which we've seen Unlimited. That game against Alliance, he was everywhere on the map except in the lanes, really.
Yes.
He spent so much time in the enemy jungle trying to catch people out. They were diving in between towers very early on. Really great performance for him on that, and he'll take it here again. And now for SK, looking for the jungler, which Evelyn would fit into that mold with Lee Sin already going down. And a possible Caitlyn pick for Candy Panda.
Yeah, so Caitlyn Panda preferring that champion over Lucian, over Twitch, over everything else that's available. The trifecta of junglers, all open, and with the Twisted Fate, either Evelyn or Elise can do well because they do very well in those pick styles, in those individual, those skirmish type scenarios. What I really like from Copenhagen Wolves, what they're showing at the moment, is Woolite is hovering over Cleanse as a summoner spell. And the reason I'm getting excited about that, it's single target Cocoon, single target Gold Card, single target Stun and Root from Renekton and Morgana. So if Woolite is ever caught out, he can just dash away or jump away. He was hovering over Tristana a little while ago and get away from team fights. SK have got the makings of a very, very strong early to mid-game team comp. They've got wave clear, they've got side lane pressure, and they have a lot of invade pressure with the Renekton and Elise because they'll always have the backup of Jesus on Twisted Fate. Whereas the Copenhagen Wolves, they are much more about scaling into the mid to late game with their current list of champions. And if Jinx gets locked in, that's going to be even more the case. So the Copenhagen Wolves have to have an incredibly solid laning phase because of the amount of pressure and presence that SK Gaming can put down and can put in their faces. So for the Wolves, laning phase is going to be paramount to getting to the point where, you know, Jinx and Jax and Lulu can actually deal with their opposite numbers.
Yeah, and you call it a laning phase. Against Alliance, it was more about an enemy jungle phase at the start of the game, and we'll see if that kind of aggression. I mean, SK Gaming have seen that game now, so they'll have watched that and said, if this happens to us, this is what we need to do. If they try to do that to us, we need to make sure that we have our own vision down in our own jungle. We can't let them pick us off one by one and end up going the way of Alliance in that match earlier on today. For the Wolves, we heard it called cheese earlier on. Whether they try it a second time in one day, we'll have to see.
I don't think they can. Because of the team composition that they've built around, it's less likely to have that same level of impact. In addition, once Jesus hits level 6 and he's got the Destiny available, it just means if Copenhagen Wolves invade, it's going to be much easier for a TF to get involved than it is for an Orianna to get involved. And obviously the power of Gold card is very, very scary. So I'm not expecting the same style. I want to see if lane swaps are a thing, because that is definitely a possibility.
Well, now the champions are locked in. Do you guys still think that SK Gaming are going to win this one? Let us know by tweeting hashtag SKWin or hashtag CWWin to @LOL Esports, and we'll see if the picks and bans managed to sway your vote from earlier, which was 81% in favor of SK Gaming.
I don't know. I think the team comps, again, you've got this contrast. It's something we're seeing a lot in EU. The teams that are struggling a little down the bottom half of the table are picking these late game scaling champions like Jax, like Lulu, like Jinx in this case. And assuming they can hold even, the theory is you should have this headroom that is larger than your opponents. But they need to hold even against a team like SK. I guess SK have struggled in laning phase, so maybe the Wolves are banking on that.
Well, we're going to find out here as we go into the game. SK versus the Copenhagen Wolves, second versus last in the table. And you have to wonder if those teams, like you said, that are going for those late game comps, whether they feel that that allows them a bit more playing room and possibly allows them to make a couple of mistakes and still be able to get away with it later on in the game as things go on. We'll find out here and see if something is planned by the Copenhagen Wolves. That destruction of Alliance earlier on in their day is going to be the aim here once again against the second place team in the league.
It is, and just as I was saying, I'm not expecting it. We do see Unlimited has started with an all-consumable start once again. So not gone for the GP10. We did see an early pink ward from him in the game against Alliance, and we did see some vision control from the Wolves in that area, in that department of the game. So let's see how they decide to play this one. The other thing you've also got to remember, if Jinx can get to towers early on, she can just melt them. With that minigun auto attack speed that ramps up with a couple of charges, she does great in the early stages, much like Caitlyn with her range, to be fair.
And we have the Twisted Fate skin that we've been looking forward to seeing this entire time, and we'll see if Jesus scores with this performance or whether he's going to be deserving a red card at the end of it. We'll find out on that one. The Copenhagen Wolves are settling in here on the bottom side of the river. Is this going to be just a scouting mission to get vision down, or do they want to take away that red buff?
Yeah, they've got to be very careful not to get caught offside here against SK Gaming. Once again, because of the early game pressure that Renekton and at least the TF are going to offer, we do see an invade, and this time around, there's nobody from Copenhagen Wolves to secure their red buff. Earlier, if you recall, Youngbuck and Woolite secured their own red buff, but it feels like, or it looks like, they're anticipating no steal from SK Gaming. The SK have not moved to Copenhagen Wolves red, so Sven is going to lose out on one of his buffs, and Woolite is in the middle lane. So now we need to watch, oh, small mistake, now we need to watch how Copenhagen Wolves play the rest of this laning phase and how heavy their invades are.
And I really like the going over the ward there at the start while it's disabled and getting out of vision of it. So that SK are left thinking, okay, did they go around the backside? Are they going to be waiting by the Wraiths? What's going on there with that one? Copenhagen Wolves, of course, managed to take that red buff and then get rid of that vision as well. They're going to be taking the blue buff as Woolite, doing some good damage here onto Jesus in that mid lane. Svenskron's going to have to spend a bit of time in there if they want to stop Woolite getting as beastly as he did in the Alliance game earlier.
I think so too. And on a champion like Jinx, you've also got incredible late game build-up, incredible late-game damage that you can put down. So Todd has yet to move to a lane. Youngbuck is in a 1v1 situation, and the last time they did this strategy, Todd went in the 1v2 with Ryze to do as much CS as possible. So Freddy can take a bit of dive, but that's not real threat from anybody on the Wolves.
Level 1 Lulu, level 1 Brom, you don't want to go under the turrets with those, that's for sure. End up going badly for you. Although we are now seeing Svenskeren and Rated both come into this mid lane. Woolite sat really far back, and he has to be no escape on this Jinx. And he spots him coming out there. No real problem for him. Meanwhile, Airwax is waiting. Look at this. It looks like the Wolves are going to try something on mid lane again. Yeah,
going to see if they can put more pressure on the tower. Now, for SK Gaming, there's a number of options that they have available to them in terms of countering the strategy from Copenhagen Wolves. They currently have all got yellow trinkets. So one of the routes is to get vision in your jungle, and obviously because the Copenhagen Wolves have no sweeping lenses, they cannot deny as much vision. So what that gives SK is the option to react when the Wolves invade. Secondarily, they can opt to go for sweeping lenses themselves, but this is a little riskier because they have to deny vision, which means they have to predict where the Wolves are moving correctly. But what I do like is they're equaling the Wolves. You've got a roaming Braum, so let's have a roaming Morgana. Let's leave our AD carry to farm as best as possible, and if we can delay and shut down Woolite, then this will be how SK Gaming can get themselves back in this match.
And Morgana roaming around could be arguably even more impactful with that Dark Binding, if, of course, you end up landing them. Meanwhile, we do have Lulu going to the top side of the map, and they're going to try once again to get in onto Freddy. Didn't have to use his flash earlier on, and there we see it, the vote switching around into the favor of the Copenhagen Wolves as Freddy going to take about half damage here. Level 2 counter, though, not enough damage to actually finish off the level 4 Renekton.
2 ganks in the top lane because of the matchup. Because of the pressure that Copenhagen Wolves are putting on Freddy, it means he needs to second guess himself every single time. And this is just allowing Youngbuck to stay even in a lane matchup that he should be losing. So this is smart play from Wolves. But what they are doing is they're balancing out the power of the top laners while losing a massive amount of presence and power in the mid lane. Kautot is level 2 with 5 CS versus Jez is level 5 and 30 CS.
Oh, and there's Cocoon landing, the Binding will follow up as well, and level 2 Lulu is going to be falling here. First blood goes over to the support. Airwax is going to fall low, possibly be falling down as well. Yes, Jesus gets that one. Svenskeren will repel here, but he's going to come back down right on top of him. Jesus is going to go down, and they don't know. Svenskeren got behind the turret there. The flash coming through, the zap doesn't quite work out. I don't think they can dive this one. Limited needs to be really, really careful. And Rayton's going to move in there, puts his shield up, does get bound up though, and that could be the end for him as well. Svenskeren didn't actually follow through with him though. Crazy little fight in the jungle.
The Copenhagen Wolves need to be very aware that their gambit is not working out. The vision from SK allowed them to get shut down, allowed Copenhagen Wolves to get shut down and give up those 2 kills. Even though Woolite comes out with a red buff and a single kill to his name, it's very apparent that Kautod's suffering. He's behind on CS, he's trying to roam, and it was over-aggressive and I dare say overconfident. Because Copenhagen Wolves didn't have the same freedom they had against Alliance. Alliance didn't pull their support away. Alliance didn't have the numbers in the mid lane. SK did. Wolves need to be more cautious.
Unlimited still waiting here for this top side. Airwax will be coming through. They've spotted Airwax moving in. But Freddy may not have calculated the fact that Braum is going to be there. There's the jumping from Youngbuck, gets the stun down. Have they got enough here? Freddy going to pop his ultimate, and I think he should be safe. Going to get back onto his tower.
Yeah, Flash and Dominus burn though, and it didn't cost any flashes on the side of the Copenhagen Wolves. Again, just really showing the Copenhagen Wolves are putting a lot of focus on getting Youngbuck in a safe position. And you can't blame them, because there's nobody on the SK squad that can deal with the late game Jax one-on-one. If SK do not maintain control of Youngbuck's Jax, he has the ability to just split push them to death, and it will need 2 or 3 members of SK to deal with him. And what it does mean though, is all of that presence in the top lane opens up Dragon to SK with Elise in the bottom.
Yep, going to start that one off and finish it without any problems whatsoever. The Wolves not even getting involved in that one. And I like the fact that they moved Kautod now down into this bottom lane, realizing that, okay, I need some levels here. I'm going to need some gold, get some farm under my belt. And he's already got himself 27. Still a good chunk behind that of Jesus, of course, but should be fairly safe. And once he starts really settling in there, will be okay for him. However, it leaves SK here 2-1 up in kills, and that is already a couple of thousand gold thanks to the farm.
Yeah, I would dare say that the Copenhagen Wolves were just overconfident in their strategy. It was very clear that SK had responded. They had the numbers to back up that invade and that pressure from the Wolves, and it obviously backfired. So Kauton is now working his way towards level 6. He's got that blue buff, which will do a whole lot in helping him out. But he's still roaming. He's still moving around looking to see if he can impact other lanes. I'm not really sure if they're going to try to commit for this dive. You do have a lot of CC that can land, but red buff was already secured by Svenskeren. He had good timing, good responsiveness. So Copenhagen Wolves significantly less successful in the first 10 minutes than they were against Alliance.
And I think it's only going to be getting hard for them. I mean, Twisted Fate against this whole tactical playstyle from the Copenhagen Wolves is going to be a big pick, because you can always join in if someone gets caught out, which Candy Panda may find himself in trouble. There's a kick against the wall. He flashes behind the tower. They've not got the damage here to finish him off. 3 versus 1. Candy Panda lives, throws the ace in the hole, and they nearly got the kill for him. Woolite here being pressured. He's going to be able to be safe though.
Yeah, but can he clear the wave? This is the question. 3 members of SK Gaming, they are going to put so much damage onto this tower, and Woolite cannot defend. The gank attempt fails, and that means SK get 50% of this HP down on the mid-outer turrets.
Good news for the Wolves there. They're not able to do anything of their own down bottom. In fact, they've come across to try and help out Woolite. You saw there how low Coutard went, and Candy Panda got a massive range advantage onto him. It's going to be able to bully him out of lane.
Yeah, especially with the BF sword in these back pockets. So if Woolite sticks, if Coutard sticks around, he's going to be in the threat range of being killed, and it's SK that are making the moves. Counted, I think he's got enough time to get away, and he has a flash, so does actually choose the very last second, and first tower most likely be secured by SK Gaming. There's a minion wave pulling up right behind them, and Candy Panda is doing his utmost to deny CS, to deny experience and gold. So strong counterplay by SK, but I think it's a little bit more. Copenhagen Wolves have just bitten off more than they can chew. They played overly aggressive, and it's backfiring on them.
And that's the thing about this strategy that they went for, that managed to beat Alliance. SK have had time to really react to that. The Wolves might have thought, okay, if we can do it against Alliance, although SK are ready for it, in terms of they've already seen they're ready for what style we're going to play, can they actually handle it in practice?
Yeah, what probably would have been smarter is leaving their AD carry and support middle, or have Braum roaming, but let Coutard keep farming up. He is very far behind. It's 2 levels and 34 CS at this stage in the game. And yes, you're always going to have utility with Lulu, with your Griddle Lancers, with your Wild Growths, but I don't think that that's enough to allow yourself to fall this far behind. Anyways, numbers advantage in favor of the Wolves. Instant flash by AWAX. And now again, because of the repeated ganks onto the top lane of Freddy, it means SK can begin responding. They can pull support to the lane that is most likely to get ganked. I think Copenhagen Wolves' moves are being telegraphed, and they're too easy to predict, which is what SK is doing, and that's why they've got the lead.
No, we see there once again, Jesus just moving south, and Spots Unlimited coming through his own jungle. Here we see Destiny going to be used. Where's he going to go? They're trying to lock up Coutard, but he's just sped himself up and got out of there.
Yeah, very, very easy escape from the Copenhagen Wolves. And Coutard, blue buff is worn off, but he's got a lot of mana regen from that Chalice. And, something that the Wolves have been very guilty of in the past is trying to force a play style. We'll get to that in a second. Jez's sidesteps. A lot.
Steps. Who's he going to go for? Actually getting knocked up there by the Wild Growth. Coutard's got no damage here. Jinx finally is going to come across. Gold card is pulled. Jesus down to less than half HP, but the damage is coming through. Cocoon misses, but he was already inside of the binding, and Jesus will pick up that kill onto Unlimited.
Yeah, that was pretty poor play from the Wolves. They missed so many of their skill shots in that scenario, and they still committed. Even after not landing the CC, they still tried to throw themselves in. I do feel they should have backed away. Now, Svenskeren is going to run into Coutard, and I think Coutard's the one that's in trouble.
Yeah, I do as well. The shield goes down, but that damage out of Svenskeren could prove to be too much. He flashes off to the side. Svenskeren, can he dive in? Flash, and the kill for Sven. Not going well for Coutard whatsoever here.
All too easy. He was 1 level up on the jungler, and he doesn't have the execute. Now Jez is looking to catch Woolite. Gold pod blocked. Well played, Unlimited.
Really well done by Unlimited. That could have possibly been a death with that Sheen now added in as well. Double Doran's ring for Jesus. Well, look at this Airwax again inside of the enemy jungle, trying to steal away the blue buff.
So I want to go back to the point I was making before they jumped onto Jez's, is that Copenhagen Wolves have been very guilty in the past of trying to force a singular playstyle on a team composition that may not be as ideal or well suited. And in the past, they've had these late game team comps, and they're like, yeah, we'll fight at 15 minutes, even though we've fallen behind in lane. And this is a similar scenario. I feel like SK's play style and team composition has countered Copenhagen Wolves' original plan, yet they still stuck to it. They still committed to all this so much damage.
That was so close to taking out both the AD carry and the support. I mean, it's not got them kills, but it's going to get them the tower here. Second one of the game for SK, and they've got 3 seconds until Dragon comes up. Everything perfectly timed there.
Yes, and very, very well executed. SK have read the Wolves. The Wolves have tried to put a square composition into a round strategy hole, and it is not working. And this is why SK have got control. They've got 2 towers. They've stolen away the blue buff. They've regained jungle control of the Wolves. And with this Dragon, they're going to have a very, very sizable gold lead.
It's going to be... Oh, is there going to be a fight over this one? The Wolves have started to move back in as they...
The Wolves will do it.
And healed. Come through into this one, but the Dragon goes over to SK, but the fight is on. Airwax trying to get in there, keeps Candy Panda back. Airwax though is going to go down, and that is Candy Panda picking up the kill. Falls straight away afterwards. Youngbuck is right in the middle of them as well. Svenskeren going to get turned into a squirrely looking thing, and then Svenskeren is finished off. It's Woolite that picks up the kill.
2 kills, they lose 1, and they lose a Dragon and a tower. And even with Counter turning people into squirrely-looking things, it's not enough for the Copenhagen Wolves to come out ahead. Destiny's available, Counter's in trouble. Can he get away?
Shortest range Destiny ever to be produced, but Jesus is going to stick to him. A lot of damage, the slow coming out. Have they got it? That's a flash into a binding that doesn't land, but the wild cards will be enough.
And SK just going to keep getting more. 6 kills to 3. There's 6,500 gold ahead. Woolite will even... he will secure a tower rather, which is a small solace and something to take away from it, but it's definitely not what they were ideally looking for. And now Woolite is stuck around. This is 3v1.5 because Unlimited's nearby, but it looks like Woolite's in trouble.
Good jumpers, but are they going to be enough? Actually, Unlimited might actually be the one that falls down. Freddy trying to get onto him. Couldn't quite get the damage down to finish off Unlimited. He gets away.
Cleanse and flash from Woolite, as well as the flash from Unlimited in exchange for the singular flash there of Freddy. So that is a very, very big advantage gained by SK Gaming, especially when you consider Woolite has no innate escapes. So on Jinx, he's going to be very reliant on staying in the right position at the right time, and where he was in that mid lane was definitely overextended. He shouldn't have been that deep without more team members nearby. That's enjoying the sound.
All good, best sound ever.
Tower's done, definitely.
Youngbuck's going to get this one. Freddy came in there at the last second, actually using that Tiamat, managed to chunk off half of Youngbuck's health, but not got enough there to actually finish himself off a kill. Meanwhile, SK actually moving up in the middle lane, and again Unlimited managing to block out most, if not almost all, of the damage.
Yeah, we do see now it's SK that are slightly out of position. Counter is going to run into Chezzes. The rest of the Wolves are coming in.
Oh, Stone Card does go down. Binding, he's going to land. Svenskeren going to go for this one. Unlimited's at half health as well. Jinx is there though, so knowing that it's a little bit too dangerous. But again, Counter almost being
they won't
aggressive.
I think they're going to catch him, yeah.
Yeah, you see Jinx. No escape, but got Unlimited as support, who's doing a cracking job. There's a binding coming in though, and the binding does land. And see the hole's going to come from the side. Super Mega Death Rocket was used, but maybe too early on that one. There is a kill, but Candy Panda going man mode on the backside. Manages to get one. Can they finish off any more? Follow through from Airwax. He'll pay with his life though.
They end up trading 2 for 3. The Copenhagen Wolves continually struggling in these team fights. Youngbuck, he wants a piece of Freddy.
I may even get this one as well. Blade of the Ruin King is going to be used, which will keep him in touch with him, but the flash comes out from Youngbuck in the end. But look at this, SK just pushing the tower.
SK will be happy with the trade. They lose a top laner, but they get in a turret. The Copenhagen Wolves continually, I think their heads are a little bit out of this game. They're missing some of their skill shots. They're out of position. And if you contrast to the match earlier against Alliance, it just feels like they're not maybe as focused, if I'm trying to summarize. So Copenhagen Wolves, they lose another tower. They end up trading 3 for 3 in terms of kills. But map presence and map control is all in favor of SK Gaming. It is what you expect with this team comp though. So for SK, they need to start playing the side lanes with the Twisted Fate, with the Elise, and get to those inhibitor turrets. Because if Copenhagen Wolves can stall out, they can start to make up that difference in terms of gold deficit with the champions that do scale, obviously, over time.
Yeah, we have a 6,000 gold lead pretty much for SK. Only 18 minutes into this matchup. Now we're going to see the Wolves pushing. They're actually sending 2 men down. They're actually going to try and connect and find Svenskeren here inside of the SK jungle. There is Counter getting in for the slow. Have they got the damage? Unlimited will dive forward once again to block most of the damage. Freddy being caught on the side there as well, but No kill, but have they relieved enough pressure here for a go on the tower?
Keep in mind, there's 3 members of the Wolves in lane. Braum is still moving between the jungle and mid and middle, while Woolite is shoving that lane out. Woolite has caught Candy Panda. It looks like he's come out slightly worse for wear. Here comes Unlimited to help out. 2v2 in the mid lane.
Rated needs to be careful here. Countout and Airwax are coming across the queue, landing onto the minion there, so no follow through, but here comes SK from the side. Good wild growth out of Countout, but Airwax may go down. Jesus gets that one for the Rampage, and just like that, SK turning around the aggression.
Yeah, I can't stress enough, the Wolves, they just seem to be all over the place. That's a flash gold card.
Yep, he's got no mana left though for anything else here, and Countout able to just walk on away from that one. Oh, the Wolves too low here though to defend what's left of that inner turret.
Such a low amount of hit points. I think if Candy Panda can get in range, 1 or 2 auto attacks will take that one down. The Copenhagen Wolves, they tried that multi-split push, or multi-lane push rather, in the top and the middle lane. And in their indecisiveness, were moving towards middle, they just got surrounded and pounced on by SK Gaming. The assertiveness and the control is not there. And it feels like the Wolves are struggling to adapt to what SK are doing in this matchup.
And we see why they went for that first pick Morgana here. They're hitting a lot, and Unlimited just completely caught out there in the jungle, and Rated tanking up from the front side, trying to get those bindings in position. Youngbuck's going to dive in. He gets stunned down, can only get the counter-strike on one, and he's surely going to fall as well. But look at Freddy. He's absolutely destroying them in the backside. That's another 2 kills, and just like that, SK get an ace for nothing.
I'm at a loss for words. The Copenhagen Wolves once again get caught out of position. Unlimited is in the jungle alone, and he just gets pounced, collapsed on by SK. There was no wild growth available for Countout, so Youngbuck jumps in. The ultimates and the spells are just not there. You know, vision from SK Gaming is solid. They had pink ward control, so they knew Copenhagen Wolves didn't have vision, and they just go in one by one by one. You have to question the decision making. You have to question the strategic play in this game, because the Wolves definitely don't. Well, I rest my case. What did you not learn what happened 20 seconds ago?
Apparently not.
It's difficult to say anything other than I don't know where Copenhagen Wolves' heads are in this game, because it feels like they've lost focus, it feels like they've lost touch, and Countout's going to be the next target.
Yep, and he's dead. Jesus gets that one, and Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, actually picking off a kill there, but the rest of the team, again, being hammered by Freddy at the backside. Youngbuck going to dive back in, he's going to pay the price, and Woolite now will be the next focus. Candy Panda having to go, good flash from Woolite, actually gets him the kill and the shutdown, but Jesus got the finishing touch. He is now legendary at 915.
Yeah, but at what cost? 14,000 gold. Yes, that was a very flashy play, but SK, they got the inhibitor turret, they got the bottom turrets, they're going to take a dragon, they're extending this gold lead even further. This must be one of the largest gold leads we've ever seen at 22 minutes. And I just have to question the decision making again, because for Wolves, they've fallen behind. It's very apparent they've fallen behind. But instead of trying to force team fights to make up a deficit, I feel like they should have turtled. I feel like they have fairly solid, fairly safe wave clear, and it would have been a smarter option to sit under turrets, defend your objectives, and try play for late game. Because at the moment, they're just giving away far too many advantages to their opponents.
I think the last time we saw such a one-sided game involving SK, they actually forfeited after 21 minutes against the Lions.
And it was Twisted Fate as well, wasn't it? I'm going to double check and tell you. It was, in fact, Twisted Fate. Joe Smith and SK Gaming were under the...
better than my Goldfish spanned memory. You see the pink wards actually going down. No offense, Goldfish. You'll have forgotten in 3 seconds I said that.
I think for the Copenhagen Wolves, this all boils down to, can they actually group up and can they control themselves? Right, 2v1, Youngbuck's already flashed.
And is the gold card going to time out? No, it's not. The stun comes down, and Youngbuck's not escaping this one. He's popped his ultimate, but that won't even do a thing for him. Candy Panda picks that one up. He's now 6-3-7. What are the Wolves going to do here? Because things have got desperate for them. They're 15,000 gold behind.
That was just too easy. Youngbuck has got no defensive items at all. And the Copenhagen Wolves continue to try play aggressively despite the massive lead that their opponents have built up. And I just feel like the best course of strategy, the best course of action is to sit back. try to weather the storm as best you can, because you do have a fairly high damage Woolite, but he's just going to get melted. Bye.
Jez has been chased off here, but he's like, I got Ghost Bros, I'm not scared of you. And they're unlimited Woolite, both of them very low as Freddy dives in. Ace in the hole will come through. It's the wild cards from Jesus to get in the kill. Unlimited, not going to be able to get away. There's another one at the front, and Coutard flashing away from things. The Cocoon not quite landing. That's a 3 for pretty much no health on SK's side. This is surely an inhib.
This is such a chaotic game. There's an inhibitor exposed in the bottom lane as well as minions in the middle lane. SK Gaming should just get absolute map control. They've already had it for 10 or so minutes, and with super minions in 2 lanes, this is just going to get even bigger. The Wolves have been destroyed by SK Gaming, and this is just such a good performance from SK, considering how they bounced back from yesterday's terrible performances.
Indeed, and that shows the character of a second place team. You know, that's how you do well in the league. You kind of shrug off those losses, look at what went wrong and what went right even in those, although I don't know if there were many positives really to take from SK's 21 minute surrender yesterday, but then shrug it off and to come into this one against a team like the Wolves, who we saw it in the last game against Alliance. They can do it. They have the ability to pull off these big wins, but we just don't see it very often.
Yeah, this is the problem with a team like the Wolves, who have a phenomenal performance. They have the ability, but the average ability is lower than where it needs to be to maintain that level of performance. I actually think this game boils down to their in-game leadership and their in-game calling, because they could have done significantly better with this comp. And let's see them committing to this fight. Remember how far they are behind.
Trying to fight Freddy, trying to take him down. But look at him, he pops Dominus and says, no, I'm not even going to go down from this one. Bullies an entire team there at the back. Twisted Fate going to join in. Woolite will go down. And Unlimited, all of a sudden, the last man left alive. Will they be able to chase through? I think he's going to survive it. But again, Freddy's pushing straight up the middle lane. SK might just go for the win here.
Yeah, they've got super minions pushing up with them. There's nothing Copenhagen Wolves can do to prevent this loss. And I feel they gifted this one to SK Gaming on a silver platter. They just kept presenting weaknesses after weaknesses, and SK punished them over and over. 27-8, SK going to close it out.
Yeah, more kills here at the end. Jesus will get his 12th and his 13th in there as well. Actually, no, 12. Oh no, it was 13th kill for him. And they're still looking for more here on top of the fountain. Nexus is going to fall before anything happens though. And SK Gaming demolish the Wolves to cement their second position.
Night and day. 2 different performances from the same team. Copenhagen Wolves topple the league leaders, maybe fueled on adrenaline, excitement, and looking for blood, overcommit against SK. This game really just boils down to being in the wrong place at the wrong time so many times.
Yeah, and we have to talk about the very start of it for Coutard here in particular. 70 CS down by the end of it, 0-8-4. Spent so much time roaming. Was level 2 with, I think, 5 CS, if I'm correct on that one, while Twisted Fate is already 2-3 levels above him, and then gets caught out in the jungle for an easy kill.
By the point you're talking about, Jesus was already level 5 with 30 CS. And the decision-making to have a roaming Lulu, in theory, could have helped. It helped Youngbuck in the laning phase. The problem is, Counter took too long to get back to lane. It took too long to get back to a standard style of play. And then it just felt like they got stuck in this mindset of play aggressive, give in the face, go, go, go. Against Twisted Fate, against Renekton, against these champions that punished them. And more importantly than just the champion composition, but the way SK had played. They had moved support up. They had numbers to back up against Copenhagen Wolves' aggressive plays. You need to read that, and you need to respond to it. And on top of all of that, Wolves didn't have the vision. They didn't have the same number of wards down that they have been doing in previous games, so they couldn't make use of their strategy.
Let's talk Jesus here for a moment. 13-1-9 he finished at the end of that. And while we normally grade a Twisted Fate performance from the amount of destinies that pull off kills in the laning phase, this one was a little bit harder to grade it, I think, in that same way because of the fact that the Wolves were all over the map this entire time. So
what I would say about Jesus' performance in this game, while he didn't necessarily play in such a way to convince me it was a good play, he punished mistakes in an incredibly positive way. So it was a reactive TF and went, oh, you're out of position, I'll kill you again. You're out of position, I'll kill you again. Very importantly, gold cards every time. When there were champions to stun down, It was a gold card, I would dare say I didn't see